Just having to adjust that head guard. And that's Mateusz Urban, the Polish eagle on the left-hand side of his vest there. Judges from Armenia, Sri Lanka, Slovakia, Russia, and Latvia. This is the final fight of this opening session on day one of the 2021 AIBA Youth Men's and Women's World Boxing Championships. 69 kilos. Yunus Nabil of Jordan in charge of this one. And as I said, in the red from Croatia, Petar KNEZEVIC, and in the blue from Poland, Mateusz Urban.
Seconds out. Round one.
Urban trying to close that distance, trying to get that gap down so that he can throw that right hand, and it's KNEZEVIC who is giving ground out of these two at the moment. Physically, they're not too far apart. It's the Croat KNEZEVIC who's got the height on Urban. It's a neat left hand there from KNEZEVIC as he was on the retreat. Urban uses that kind of high guard. KNEZEVIC just carries his gloves a little bit low, right to the body there from Urban. Referee just having a word there with KNEZEVIC about pinning Urban's arm. No real space for either one of them to get anything done there as they kind of fell into the clinch. Referee's had a word with KNEZEVIC about just dropping that elbow and clamping that arm of Urban a few times now. He just needs to be a bit careful. KNEZEVIC doesn't want to lose a point for that. Closing stages of round one. Not a great deal clean has got through from either of these two. It's been quite untidy, quite scruffy, quite a lot of that wrestling up close in the clinch. The referees in Ring B today have always given the fighters a chance to work their way out when they get into that kind of situation. And it's Urban, I think, who was maybe a little bit more willing to fight on the inside than KNEZEVIC. As I was saying, the referees had a word with KNEZEVIC a couple of times about just dropping that elbow, that forearm on his opponent's arm, on the blind side of the referee generally. And you can see it there actually as they fall in towards each other. It's KNEZEVIC who is keener just to tie his man up there and get the referee in and get him to break the two of them apart.
Seconds out, please. Round 2.
So into the second round, an Urban of Poland in the blue, quickly into the center of the ring. Trying to use his jab to work his way in there, Urban. Doubling up, tripling up on the jab. Trying to make sure he keeps those feet underneath him. But again, as they get in close there, KNEZEVIC happy to hold on. And again, the referee has half a word with him about a little bit of holding. Sets his feet there, KNEZEVIC, and looks to try and let his hands go. That's a sneaky bit of work actually there from Urban. The referee could have a word about that, because he's almost holding him round the back of the head, the back of the neck with his left hand, and then looking to work with his right hand, which is a bit sneaky. Both of these two just looking for any kind of marginal gain they can get in there at the minute, because, as I say, this is quite untidy. And he's just pinning the arm again there, but the referee can't see it. KNEZEVIC is, I should say. I think the referee could probably do with getting a little bit more involved with these two, and when they do fall into a clinch, just breaking them up, because when it happens, all we're seeing is just kind of dead action, 5-10 seconds of nothing really. You can see that they're not really too interested in working their way out. And this is a good example here. Bit of wrestling. He's going to walk him back to the ropes if he can. Pushes off with the heel of his glove there, Urban. Again, on the blind side of the referee, doesn't really see it. Better distance there from KNEZEVIC. Nice short left hand on the inside there from the Croat as well. The man in red, as Urban was just looking to try and close him down. It's the Polish fighter who has been on the front foot more, and in a fight where not a great deal has landed clean, where it might be difficult to pick between the two of them in that criteria, the most important criteria, then the proactivity can and should count. Good left to the body there from KNEZEVIC, but a nice right hand came back from Urban. Lead left uppercut there from Urban. Sprang in from distance. That's a risky shot, but he landed it. And a left hand on the inside there as well from Urban. Better action as we head towards the end of round 2. So 1 round to go, 1 more round left in Ring B on this opening day of the 2021 IEBA Youth World Championships here in Kielce in Poland. 414 fighters from 52 countries have made their way here, and absolutely delighted that they have, because it's always an absolute joy to come to these tournaments. Particularly interesting to see youth tournaments too, because you just see fighters come through, and you think about someone like Shakur Stevenson, who won a gold in recent years at the Youth Worlds, and so many other good fighters have trodden that same route. They're just names to look out for. It's always great to be able to say that you saw someone when they were really
Seconds out, please.
making their way through the ranks. So third and final round. Petar KNEZEVIC of Croatia in the red, Mateusz Urban of Poland in the blue. Both coming out aggressive at the start of round 3, as you would expect. We don't know how the scores stand, but the corners will. With 5 scoring judges ringside too. Makes it more likely that the fight is in the balance. Just got slightly too close there, Urban, as he came in. He stole that space nicely, but by the time he started to throw, he just kind of he closed his own space down, really. There wasn't quite enough room. Right hand there from KNEZEVIC. It's a little bit tired. He's standing kind of tall there on his heels. Just winged the shot in. He was quite open, and Urban just cuffs him a couple of times on the inside. And I think if the POL puts the hammer down here in round 3, then he can take this round, because KNEZEVIC, I think he's gassing a bit here. Left hand there from Urban, who's working. Urban's still throwing, but the way he's just kind of setting his feet and then letting his hands go, I wouldn't say it's desperate exactly, but it seems to be taking a real effort. Nice little left hand on the inside there from Urban, and if he can get up close and just keep those hands busy, then that's the way to get on top of KNEZEVIC here, who backs up, and then sets his feet and throws exactly like he did there when he absolutely has to. Well, both of them just taking the opportunity to nick a little bit of a rest there. And a point has gone there from KNEZEVIC. He's taken a point there, the referee, and he did warn him a few times earlier in the fight about holding, about trapping the arm of his opponent, and that's symptomatic really of a fighter who is running low on gas, as I mentioned a minute or so ago. He's trying to do whatever he can just to slow his man down and get more of a rest himself, and Urban has won this final round. I don't think there's any doubt about that as we head into the final 10 seconds. So could be finishing with a win for the home fighter here. We'll have to wait and see though how this turns out on the scorecards. And there goes the bell at the end of round 3. Mateusz Urban of Poland in the blue, and that is Petar KNEZEVIC of Croatia in the red. The winner of this one will go on to fight an Azeri, Samir Nazarov, in the next round. This is the welterweight division.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of bout number 22 by unanimous decision. From the blue corner, Mateusz Urban, Poland.
So Mateusz Urban gets it. And he's won it by significant margins there. It's 2-1 with Armenia, with the point gone. And with everybody else, it's 3-0. There was a 10-8 in there as well, I think, from the Latvian judge in his favour. Round 1 was quite tight. Rounds 2 and 3 went much more his way. And there's a 10-8 from Sergei Krutasov, the Russian judge, to make that 30 points to 20